So we're going live, and then I'm gonna have to figure out Aisha, and because otherwise it says it'll do. Demi, let me know if you see us live. It says we're live. Well, everyone, how are you doing today? We have a wonderful show today, our episode of the Behind the Ball series. And right now, we have Angela Hamblin Blakely, and I'm going to let her introduce herself in just a minute. But I want to tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing. So we are doing the Behind the Ball series, which is going to be a 3-part series. And we're going to be talking about sports and COVID, student athletes, and basically how everyone is navigating. And I don't know if someone has extra, it might be me, have extra devices very close to the, their computer, and it may be showing some feedback. Okay, let's see. I'm turning off one of my devices right now, moving it away. Okay, everybody. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. So first of all, so we have 2 more people that are coming in a second. We have Aisha and we have Rhonda King. And we're going to be talking about a couple of things related to COVID, but it's really about how we are all navigating this space. So we want to shout out and give a thank you to Thrivent Financial. Thrivent Financial, I've been working with them now for about 3.5 years, and they're one of the co-sponsors on this broadcast. And the information is up here if you want to see how they help people financially and how they help community-based events. The number is up there for Mr. Jim Smith. And I'm going to also leave up their website, which is thrivent.com, what we offer generosity. So they do sponsor small business events like these, unique events. So you will see this pop up in the middle of the broadcast, along with a couple of other house notes. Our other thing is that we do want to make sure that you guys download our Life After Sports app. You can get that on both stores, and we'll talk about that later. So, Angela, I'm Candy Conda, Hall of Famer, 2nd-time Hall of Famer now, 6th-time author. You tell us a little bit about yourself. You got to mute. You're muting. I can't hear you.
Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. Well, my name is Angela Hamblin Blakely, and obviously I have a background in athletics. I've been playing basketball, running track, playing volleyball all of my life. Had the opportunity to go to the University of Iowa, where I played on the women's basketball team. And from the University of Iowa, I was drafted to play WNBA. I played WNBA for a short time. And since then, I have started a youth foundation. It's called Hamblin Foundation. And so we do different things, mentoring, AAU. We also do high school events. So those are just some of the things that we do. I also am a Hall of Famer. I'm in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame twice. And I'm so excited about that. But that's just in a nutshell who I am.
Okay. Aisha, do you have any light in your background? You're just a little tiny. You're a little bit dark, just a little bit.
Oh my God, I'm trying to fix everything. I've been having like a problem.
Okay.
It's okay. Can you see me?
I can. You're just a little bit dark in the background, but yes, we see you fine.
Okay. Sorry.
You know, I come with an extra glow though, so.
I'm trying to get it together. Sorry.
So you're fine. Just go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll come back to you in the light.
Okay. Oh, introduce me now?
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, everybody. I'm Aisha Barclay. I'm so excited to be here. I'm recently a retired basketball player, international basketball player, a new mom and entrepreneur. I'm working on some things actually with Casey and a few other people that I know, building a brand for basketball and just doing some consulting on the side. Yeah, but pretty much I'm just here to give my insights on the game, and however you guys need me, I'm here. Oh, and I'm also, another thing I'm plugging, I'm a appreciation ambassador. You can kind of see it on my shirt. Recently got chosen to be an ambassador for the brand, and yeah, that's a new adventure that I'm excited about. So
Was that the brand was that what you were telling me about?
yes, I got to get you guys some shirts. That was going to be my gift for you guys today. That, and also I'm plugging my friend. She has a new cosmetic line. So yeah, I'm actually wearing one of her glosses today. I'm going to gift you guys a gloss and a t-shirt, but we'll do that outside of this. Yeah, got some really cool stuff going on. Yeah.
Okay, so what we wanted to talk about today, we're going to get started. We're going to wait on Rhonda to get in. And what we want to talk about first is I sent you guys a document that we're going to kind of use as our agenda today. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was COVID. How has COVID affected your lifestyle?
Well, I guess I can go first.
Go ahead.
Obviously, COVID has affected my lifestyle, and in some major ways, just in shutting everything down. With basketball season right here, especially preseason as a college coach. This is difficult just because we can't necessarily get in the gym, and our campus is not yet back open. So that's one of the ways, and just not being able to get in the gym has been a challenge. But we've just been fortunate enough to find other ways to continue to mentor some of our athletes through Zoom calls and different things like that. So I think COVID-19, it did its job as far as slowing everything down, but it didn't do its job as far as stopping everything. We were still able to get some things done that we usually do at this time. And so it's still been, a blessing to be a part of what we're a part of as far as, the foundation and things like that. So, COVID-19 has been difficult, no doubt about that. I won't deny that. But what COVID-19 has done, it has sharpened our focus and what it is that we have to do.
So one of the things that has been on my heart to talk about, and this may have to be part 2 of this, is what's going to happen with the student that, and I know Aisha has students as well. So what can these parents look forward to doing? Because now the scholarships are going to be impacted, how they play. Now I saw you sent me you shared a video yesterday. Was that your girls actually playing basketball?
Yes, that was my daughter playing. And that's another thing, because she was very anxious about, Mommy, am I going to have an opportunity to play? Of course, you want to play in front of college coaches and different things like that.
Right.
And so, yeah, I just kept trying to encourage her and let her know, yes, you're still going to be able to play. And obviously yesterday we were in a gym and she did get an opportunity to play. And she also has some games today. But yeah, that's another challenge. That is definitely another challenge.
Because I know a lot of students that had scholarships. What's going to happen to all that? Are they going to have to sit out this first year? What are the parents going to have to look forward to? How do they navigate that?
Well, I believe it depends a lot on, I believe it's school by school on how they're doing different things. You have some schools that, obviously the ones that, have a better foundation financially, they're not as bothered by some of the schools that struggle financially. And so with that being said, scholarships, it just would depend on the level of where some kids are and how that goes. But I think that what parents are going to have to do is do their research. I think parents are going to have to be very knowledgeable about, what's going on, just because, before all of this happened, it was just assumed, oh, my kid is just going to get a scholarship and go to school.
Right.
But now college coaches have to be very selective in who it is.
I can't hear.
I can't hear you.
Time.
Oh, there we go.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. No, I just believe believe that college coaches are now going to have to be very selective in, you know, who it is that they see now, because they only have a certain amount of time that they can get out and see you. You know what I mean? And now with even the COVID coming back in a sense, you know, in some states, you know, it's gonna be interesting to watch.
Right. So Aisha, you have students, right?
Yeah, I'm coaching too, but I didn't really say. I guess I'm so into basketball, like I forget sometimes. But yeah,
No.
um,
So just tell us
yeah.
some of the challenges that you're having with the students. Mainly the one that we talked about with the workout, trying to do a workout on Zoom. So
Oh
let's
my
talk
God.
about that. Let's talk about that.
Okay. First thing is keeping them motivated. Like, you know, we like a technology age, but I'm not really. I'm like the in between of technology. So like before my coach, if we didn't go to the gym, like we didn't even know when the next day of practice was. Like that's how like crazy it was. But now it's like you giving them the information, and you're just like hoping that they, you know, like respond to you and want to be motivated to do everything. Like so. I'm like trying to figure out new ways. Like that's been my problem. Like figuring out new ways to keep them like motivated with them without them actually being like close to you. And without face-to-face contact, you can't really like fill them out or see what's going on at home. Like sometimes they'll come to practice and they'll be like, "Hey, I had a horrible day at home." Like, and they'll tell you, but then like if they're already home, they can't really vent to you the same way. So it's like, is it something going on at home? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm trying to figure out ways to just like keep my players just motivated to want to play and making sure like I don't even know if my players' phones are on, you know, people parents aren't working. So I'm just like, all right, if you guys need anything, like I'm like constantly saying, like, if you guys need anything, like just let me know. But it's like their parents probably like monitoring their messages and stuff, things that they could come to you with confidentiality is like not really present. So and you can't talk to them.
You know, that's a good point. That's an excellent point. Stuff where they face to face may have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Now they can't do that because, like you said, they're probably standing over their shoulders.
Yeah.
So now you told me you had. So we talked, Angela, about Aisha's going to be doing some 5-minute workouts. We're going to put them on the app, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have our own segment of 5-minute workouts with Aisha, and it's going to be, you know, on YouTube eventually, first on the app and then on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I know you were trying to do workouts with Zoom. What happened with that?
I was able to do them, but like it wasn't enough people logging in. So like some days I would have like 3 people, and then other days I would have 10 people. Or some days they wouldn't even log on. So and I wouldn't be able to know until I actually logged into it. So I would do the workouts hoping that they would like jump in. Like I know one time I did one, somebody jumped in like 30 minutes into the workout, but I was just like, at least you were there. Like, like I'm okay with that. Like some things I know, like if it was like a real practice, I'd be like, why are you late? You know,
Right.
Because I don't know their living situation and what's going on. I'm kind of just like being a little more lenient. I know here in Jersey they opened up like we can start doing some workouts on July 13th, so I'm excited about that. So hopefully we can get the girls like back into the swing, because I don't want them to open everything up and then they're like, okay, we ready to play. And if they're out of shape, they're gonna look really bad. Like and this is a high school level. Like,
and before I go to Rhonda, I want to ask you one other question. Are you guys, and y'all, you both, Angela and Aisha, I'm gonna come back to you guys on this. Is there gonna be some type of social distancing set up with practice? And if so, how does that work? That's my next question. But I want Rhonda, thank you for coming in. Introduce yourself, and then you can answer the question because you got kids that are in sports as well. And if y'all hear some feedback, that means somebody's phone is too close to their computer, or they got 2 or 3 devices. Yeah, it's hard to tell. But Rhonda, so you got kids that I know you're going to taking practice. And, you know, so tell us a little bit about who you are and then how you're navigating this sport with COVID and your kids.
Right. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Rhonda. I go as the NFL brat. My father played in the league. I have 2 college athletes. Well, one high school athlete and a college athlete right now. And it's a big challenge right now. My son is a swimmer for Bethel University, and there's no pools open anywhere right now. I think the Y is just now opening. So, of course, now transportation, getting him there and things like that, we're still trying to work that out. but they're pretty much going to have 5 weeks to train for their swim season. They're going to have an augmented swim season that has to be pretty much completed by Thanksgiving. Well, if you know college swimming, it actually goes through December and January up through February and doesn't really end. You know, the swim season is one of those things that kind of goes like from it's like I call it like you train during football season and then it extends all the way through basketball season.
Wow.
So we really don't know how we're going to get him back in, you know, in condition. One thing about swimmers, there's not really a lot of conditioning that they can do for swimming outside of the water. So yeah, he's, you know, he's getting in his push-ups, his sit-ups, things of that nature. But the lack of the structure and, you know, doing the 900 laps every day, that's considered to be a major challenge for him. So he thought this was going to be his year,
right.
And we're just, you know, praying that it's going to get better.
One thing about swimming, though, at least they can be in a lane by themselves. That's,
Right.
if there's one saving grace or positive,
Right. Well, yes, but I guess the places, like the only places that have the pools are schools, which haven't opened yet, or the Ys and the Y they have to take into consideration everyone else. I personally feel like our city, you know, something specific just for the athletes, you know, kind of. But I mean, it's a really it's a huge challenge. Like the pool that my son swims at in school is in Elkhart, and it's not even open yet. So that's a big challenge. Now with the high school athlete, well, she's actually the athletic trainer, but she still has to be there for all of the activities, and they're planning on August 1st just rolling on out like they kind of would normally, but just with the mask, the gloves, and things like that. So they haven't. They're still working on a plan, so they haven't sent it to us yet.
And this is a good time for me to jump in and says we have our boom kits, which are athletic and PPE kits mixed together that are going to be ready in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you guys, it has everything that the athlete needs, from Band-Aids, hand sanitizer, mask. Some of them have football, some of them have basketball, but that part can be, you know, updated. But you know, it has all kinds of goodies in there and PPE, all in one kit, and we're calling them boom kits, and they will be part of their clear drawstring bags, so you can see everything that's in it and everything that your students will need. So hopefully you guys will support me and everybody get a boom kit when they first come out. Then we also have some NFL kits that are strictly for NFL athletes and, you know, people that are going to events. So if somebody is getting, you know, somebody that's coming in town, you don't have to go running around getting all this stuff. They get off the plane or whatever. We just ship them the kit and they can just go right to their event. And everything is already in there, from like some hand sanitizer, wipes, you know, sports stuff, notebook, Sharpies, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, sorry for that shameless plug. All right, guys. So 2 questions I was asking you guys, and we'll wrap back around to Rhonda. So I think my first question is, what can you guys tell from everything that you've been through? Because you guys are in the business, and you guys are also either have kids that you're coaching or you have your own kids that you're dealing with. What can we tell our moms that are watching who have kids that are like right now ready to pull their hair out? Can you give them a couple of tips of something they can look forward to navigating the fall, from educational tips to technology? I mean, some schools are actually starting, some schools are going to do the technology, and that's been a big issue because for some of these schools, their technology wasn't up to par. They weren't ready to go fully tech, right? So how are you guys helping your students to stay up to par? So I'll start with you, Angela, and come back around.
Well, one of the things that I have been encouraging, especially younger kids, to do is you can go right outside with your basketball and work on your ball handling skills. You can work on all of the skills that you would normally do inside of a gym. You can definitely go right on outside and get it done. And I think that's a good place to start. I mean, this is not just for young kids. I believe this is for kids of all ages, because again, a lot of the gyms are still closed, and so a gym closure is not an excuse not to do anything. So one of the things that they can definitely do is go outside and still practice social distancing and dribble the basketball. You can go right to YouTube. You can get the drills from your coaches. It's all kinds of options that are out there that will help you continue to develop as a basketball player, or whatever skill that you have, volleyball player. There's still room for you to be able to go and still develop your game.
Okay, good. I love that. Okay, Aisha?
I was definitely piggyback on that. Work on your own, because if you're not self-motivated to do the stuff, like, it's probably not something that you really want to do. You might need to look into doing something else, especially basketball, like it's an everyday thing. So if you don't wake up at least like, oh, I didn't get a chance to play this week or this today, you don't like think about it a little bit. Like, you might want to, like, for my kids, I know in high school, if you not into it, maybe you should try like something else, or but other than that, like, I would tell
Aisha, that's hardcore.
I'm sorry, that's me. I don't know, that's like my coaching staff. Like, I tell my players that too. Like, if you don't wake up like at least a little bit, like miss it a little bit, like, it's kind of hard, even for a coach. Like, you, like, right now, you don't want to have a gym full of 40 kids and only 20 of the kids really want to play, because now we got to take extra precautions, So, like, not to be harsh, but like, if you're not really like self-motivated and want to go out and do at least one thing, like, who doesn't want to shoot? Like, come on.
I think this is the hardest time in America.
Yeah.
I say the same thing to my entrepreneurs. I'm sort of teasing. If you can't be self-motivated and use this time down during COVID to do something for your business, I have a checklist of like, I got my LLC. I've got, I'm working on another business certification. I'm working on a book project. I mean, I am using this time to catch up on all the stuff that I said I needed time to do.
Exactly.
This is the time to do it. So I agree. If they're not self-motivated, or the parents. So what about the parents, Aisha? Where do the parents fit in here?
Okay, parents, take advantage of the free stuff, okay? Like, every trainer, they're doing like Zoom calls. Like, you can go on Instagram. They can do Zoom workouts. Like, almost everything is free right now, because people are just trying to get their kids to do stuff. So parents, like, stay locked into what your kids are doing. Look for the free stuff too. Like, this is a really good opportunity to get a lot of like free workouts for your kids. And I don't think enough people took advantage of that. Like, the motivated ones, I know for sure they were clocking in, but like, take advantage of that. And also just be precautious. Like you have the PPE bag. Like, parents, you can make those too, like, have things for your kids. Like, if they can go out, because I know AAU, they started like here in this area. I know a lot of kids are preparing for AAU seasons and their tournaments going on. So just like, have your kids prepared. Make sure you're boosting their immune system so that they can combat like different sicknesses, because that's like mainly really what it is. Just being mostly cleanly and making sure that your kid is practicing it, like, not just like teaching them it, but like they're actually doing it. Because I know like boys, especially, like the girls you can kind of get it, but the boys, they just want to get outside and play. And right now it's not really the time to do that, but just be precautious. And know your coaching staff. If they feel like they're, preparing the kids, like, just know that like they'll have your best interest. You don't want your kids just going with anyone, because I know some people, they just out there, they do basketball for money. Like, that's just serious. Like, it's a job for them. So they're trying to get the kids in the gym. Some people are trying to get the kids in the gym sooner than what we're opening up. Like, they're doing like outside things. It was plenty of courts in my neighborhood that they had to take the rims down because people were going in the parks, like jumping over the fence. Like, the fence is locked and they're jumping over the fence. Like, that type of thing. So,
well, they're motivated though, right?
Yeah, that's good. But
Hold on, Rhonda, did you say you had a kid in college age? You have somebody college age?
Yes, I have. Right, I have a college age. Then I have a gymnast, who her season was absolutely kind of like you all were saying, and they're going to open back up in July. Now I'm going to be the devil's advocate for the coaches because they're like, oh, y'all should motivate your children and you all should be doing this. Okay, so I'm an essential worker. I work 16 hours a day. I have 4 children at home who are all trying to get internet learning done, get there, not kill each other while I'm not here. Comcast is like, we can't support all that. They couldn't even support everybody. So they had to take turns getting homework assignments done, getting out. My most motivated child would be my gymnast. She'll go outside, flip her skills up. She's kind of self-motivated. Well, now, I have 2 other children.
Are you moving around,
who
Rhonda? Are you moving
They have
around?
different challenges. Pardon me?
Are you moving
No,
around?
I'm not trying to.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
No.
It's just your
Okay.
internet.
So I have 2. Okay.
Go ahead.
So I have 2 other children. One of my children has Asperger's. Asperger's is hard. When your mother's not there and you can't give them structure or they're not in the school to say, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, and to keep them focused. So, it's like I think some teachers think that every parent is just at home with their kids and, we're just in this super homeschooling mode. No, a lot of us are not. it was horrible for me. I can't wait for these children to go back to school. I don't know what to do. It's like it was absolutely horrible because.
And I think everyone is suffering with the internet situation because I just got a new internet company and they were like exactly how many TVs, exactly how many devices. Yeah, they were like, I think they realized that they were not prepared for everyone to be on the internet 24 hours a 7 on every device. Right. So it's a lot to take in. But so here's where my concern is, ladies. What about these kids that are looking for scholarships this fall? If I have a son that's a football player or basketball player, daughter doesn't matter. I'm expecting them to go to Georgetown or Texas Tech or HBCU and make and get the basketball scholarship. Are the scholarships are going to be limited for opportunities, Angela and Aisha? And B, are they going to get to play? And what happens if their college, because of their because of COVID, says we can't have you on the field? Because I read an article yesterday of a mom who says that even though this school is testing them on a regular basis, they're not sharing the information with who's positive. So her son does not know if he's on the court with another college student that has tested positive for COVID. And Rhonda is a nurse, and so maybe she can actually, I know that there's HIPAA laws and all that, but she may even be able to just shed on, how do we get around that? But Aisha and Angela, what's that look like for new students, college students that have gotten scholarships or expecting to get a scholarship?
Well, I really believe that, it's difficult to navigate through just because everything is so up in the air. I believe that though, if you had whatever you may have had going on before COVID started, so whatever contact you may have had with the college before COVID started, hopefully you maintain some level of communication with them. And because of the situation, maybe it's not necessarily your number one choice, but because of the situation, that might be what you have to go to. That might be what you would have to go through. Because everything is, again, just so unstable at this point. And even, to speak to the mom about, the son that may be on the field with other players that might have COVID-19 and they don't know it because they're not allowed to share medical information. Those are times where you really have to take those precautions, with your kid. And I'm sure it's difficult to practice outside in 90-degree weather with a face mask on. So that is, again, that's very difficult to navigate through. But I think that the necessary precautions need to be taken. I can't say that I'm almost sure, but there has to be some kind of regulation as far as even contact sports and what can happen with contact sports.
Right.
Right now, everything is probably non-contact. And so the 6 feet distance, the social distancing is probably going to be right now the best bet when it comes to, practicing outside or practicing indoors with other players. And then again, as it relates to scholarships, it's going to be important for those student athletes to maintain conversations with colleges that were recruiting them before all of this started.
That's great right there. And then there's another lady that I'm going to have on the show, and she says that there are some scholarships from Nike and other non-traditional scholarships that are available. And I think that that's another thing that parents need to start looking at. Okay, Aisha, your turn. And then we're going to go to our nurse mom.
Yeah, I just feel like everything is no definite, but you can just be proactive. Just making, like she said, making sure that they keep in contact with coaches. And if they did get offers before COVID, or just make sure that they make a decision based on those teams that were already interested, because maybe they won't get a chance right now to get seen by other people, but that doesn't mean that those scholarships or those contacts that they do have aren't valid. They should just work with what they have for now, and then in the future, with whatever is going on, they can kind of see like what works or what doesn't work. And I would also suggest, like, don't just pick a school based on the sport anyway. So that's what I tell my kids anyway. Like, go somewhere where you like, where's your major, where if it wasn't basketball, like, would you still want to go there? So just like prioritize the school part of it first, and then go where they're going to give you the most money. And if you could get a scholarship, that's cool. If you didn't get a scholarship, that doesn't mean that you can't get one. So I wouldn't even be like alarmed. I would just like take this time to focus on staying in shape and like practicing, so that when those opportunities come up, you're just ready. So
my question to you, Rhonda, is how do we navigate being on the court with or not me, but mom who have another kid that may be, COVID positive, and then I guess B, we'll just put your thoughts on that. I mean, I know you're a sports mom also.
Okay, so this is how the colleges are doing it. I believe systemically they're doing this pretty much the same. They've already gotten most of the kids down for fall sports starting, okay?
Right.
And they're testing them. If a child tests positive, there's no way that at the point that they test positive, that at that point they're not being quarantined.
Right.
So there shouldn't be a situation where after a positive test of a student athlete, that he should be in a situation where he is around other athletes who are non-COVID positive.
Yeah.
That should not be a situation that she should have to be concerned with. If there's a situation where that's happening, then that's like an egregious situation with the school. Most schools, because I know LSU, Ohio State, Florida State, these are just some of the ones. Clemson, as soon as they found out the kids were positive, then they were quarantined. So now your child is not around, and if you were one of those people who were around them and they were positive, then you are getting your second test to make sure that you're not positive. And before you can come back to the team.
Hold on, stop right there, because that's my question. So if they find out that my kid, I don't have a kid, so just
right.
Not that young, but yeah. So I have a student athlete that's positive. Are they going to test everyone else after that that's been in their circle, or they're doing random testing? I think that's where the issue is.
No, they're testing everyone.
Yeah,
every athlete that comes down there is being tested. If you're coming down for your voluntary workout,
right? But I'm saying, what if you're negative? What if you're negative initially, and now 2 weeks down the road, a teammate is positive? That's the question. So everybody's negative right now. But now somebody,
Right.
a teammate is positive. Now what happens?
They are retesting almost constantly now.
Yeah.
I don't know how often the colleges are retesting, but like the NFLs and the NBA, they're testing like what, every 3 days. So because it's a fluid situation, they could come in contact with somebody at Starbucks and it can change.
Yeah.
So if half of your team
they
is
are
just gone on any given day, you just gonna assume that they testify that the
right. So
today. Where is everybody? Okay.
right. I mean, and unfortunately, unfortunately it is honestly that crazy. I mean, it really, really is. Like I tell people, you really have to think of COVID, like as a really, really bad flu, and and how the flu travels. It travels by respiratory. You mess around, you touch a door handle, you kind of forget to wash your hands or spray them with sanitizer. You rub your eyes,
Okay.
and there's so it's a fluid situation, and that's why they're doing tests constantly.
So let me ask you guys this. So how are you guys personally handling? I'm gonna start with Angela, handling your kids, hey, going back to school or technology. Give our parents some other tips on how we can use technology going forward, either personally or professionally, or even if for a business idea.
Well, that's a very good question, and one of the things that I have started doing with my own two daughters that I plan to expand on is I want to expand on their vision, and what I mean by that is I want them to begin to create a athletic vision, the same way we create a financial vision, the same way we create a financial plan or academic plan. I want them to begin to create what I'm calling an athletic plan. And so inside of that athletic plan, no different than your kits that you're creating, what I'm trying to do is allow them time to think about, okay, what it is I want to do, where I want to be, where I want to go, how am I going to get there? Instead of me just assuming that everything is going to fall into place.
Right.
So that's one part of technology that I want to use with my daughters. I want them to sit down and actually put on paper, because once they actually put it on paper, now it's a legal and it's a binding document. Now I got something I can refer to help me navigate through some difficult times. That's one piece of technology that I want to use with my daughters. That is athletic planning.
I love that.
On the other side, as far as just keeping them encouraged, like Coach said, when you wake up in the morning and I gotta force you to do something, that's not something that you want to do. That's not a road that you want to go down. So that's where I believe planning is going to be, and having a vision for what it is that I'm trying to do. That's where all of those things are going to come into play. So as a parent now, I got to sit down with my athletes and we got to talk about a way to navigate through what could possibly happen and how my reaction has got to be to that. You understand what I'm saying? And so how am I going to manage my anxiety if this happens? How am I going to manage my frustration if that happens? Am I going to just quit, or am I going to barrel through it? And do I realize, the season that I'm in? And what I mean by that is, do I really realize that this is just a setback and it's not meant for me to quit? You understand what I'm saying? So that's a big, to me, that's a huge part of technology that we now have to use with our athletes, and getting them into the mindset of being ready, being proactive instead of reactive. It's the same way that we do with academics. We sit our kids down with an academic advisor at the beginning of school, and they map out classes and they map out how this is going to happen. And this class could potentially be harder than that class, so I need you to be ready for that. And so as a parent now, I've got to help my kid navigate through COVID-19. And one of the ways that I'm helping my kid manage or navigate through COVID-19 is, let's remember the vision. So let's remember what it is that we're trying to do. Let's remember what it is that we discussed, so that again, when something happens, I'm ready. So that's a part of the technology that I'm trying to implement with my daughters.
And why that's important, and I heard you say one thing, and I think everybody in here probably is going to be like, yes, is there's a mental health aspect that we also have to now implement. Because I think before, if you got an athletic kid, it's 1, 2, 3. That kid wakes up, puts the basketball, I'm going from got the rock, I'm going to the gym. Now this is a whole nother thing with the anxiety of the family of that kid, because now it's not you can just get up in the morning, get the ball, and go to the gym. Now you got all these other things to think about. And I'm sure for some kids, that's going to be a challenge. So we've got to implement that mental health challenge, that anxiety, that angst, and all those other little pieces. Go ahead, Aisha. So that's really a great, I love that, Angela.
Yeah, that was good. Like, I don't even know how to, I don't even really have an answer for this, but I would just say, as far as technology goes, just using it to the best of their advantage. I know, like, one of my friends, they started, they didn't retire. They started doing workouts on this new app called Dosta. It's like new. Like, I don't really know like too much about it, but I know that they like do workouts there for kids. So if you can't go to a gym or do anything and you still want to kind of keep your game going, you can stay at home and do stuff, because I know it's not even just the kids. It's like sometimes the parents are kind of paranoid. And I know Rhonda's probably one of them because she's in the hospital. But yeah, like the parents, like they get a little paranoid too. So like it's like no pressure right now. It's kind of like in limbo. So I wouldn't like, I'm not pressuring anybody to do anything outside of their comfort zone. But so like the using the apps and just planning out things and like she said, planning out things and knowing what you want to do. And this is just a really good time to just map out, not even using technology, like branding yourself, seeing where you want to be. Like even as a kid, you can kind of brand yourself now. And I was even gonna, like, for my kids, I wanted to, when we go back and like actually like be in contact with them, just start doing some things to see like what they really like, and just outside of basketball, and how we can put that into the game so that it benefits them when they finish high school. So they're not waiting for after college to go into their careers. They kind of like building on it. And so, yeah, that's like a new thing that
I think you probably understand this more than anybody from the coaching aspect. Is from a lot of these kids, I can tell by your conversation, it's been a 1, 2, 3. You know, like you said, you go, you got your drills, you have this has changed the game. So I think what you said is important, is that now this is going to make moms, parents, teachers, and everybody think that, wow, something could change the total trajectory of the way we do things. And now we need to think about post-COVID, if this happens again, what happens next year? Do we have a plan out? This whole thing, you know, just last a year, like they say, what's going to happen, you know, when this happens, you know, when it comes around again. Rhonda?
Yeah, I know. Our school system was actually planned. We have been working on e-learning for maybe about 3 or 4 years. So that aspect we were ready for. I think the biggest thing, and Angela brought it up, and then you chimed in on it as well, Candy, the mental health aspect. You have a very large group of children, and even adults and family members that this has caused so much anxiety in the household, and it really makes, you know, everyone's like, oh, you should have, you know, done this and done that. And sometimes it's everything that some of these kids and family members can do just to survive, just to get through it, because they're not even understanding the impact of the anxiety, you know, on your household. You know, it's like me coming in and just really pretty much not really saying much to my children, not being able to hug them.
And I put up a, go ahead. I can't hear you.
Go to my room.
Yeah. I put up a post yesterday. I don't know if you
really with the just like the isolation of it all and the mental health aspect. I really think that is like the hardest thing. And I think that if we go through this again next year, my plan will be more geared towards that and how to relieve our family anxiety wise, because I think that was the hardest part for us through this all, just trying to get through that and figuring out ways, well, hey, let's just walk around the block, or let's get out of the house. I bought a fire pit and a gazebo. Let's just sit in the gazebo, or let's sit by the fireplace. And, I mean, by the fire pit. And, I did more anxiety wise and anxious wise, more than anything. The biggest thing I did was work on mental health. Everything else, they were able to kind of work their way and navigate through with not much help from me, except making sure I kept the cable on, but that, I think that was the hardest part. That was the hardest part, was really just like the mental aspect of it. I'm kind of used to being, hugging them and holding on to them, not being able to do that because I have positive cases that I'm working with, at my place of business. So I think that was the hardest part.
And you know what troubled me, guys? I mean, I know this isn't you guys, but it troubled me to see all the conversations with the moms of saying that their kids just are like playing video games for 3-4 months straight. We've got to also start encouraging our kids. We thought this was going to be a one summer thing, but now knowing that this could go farther, we also, I think a lot of the moms have to also go that extra step and start getting learning kits and doing some things on their own, because I think the school system is going to fail a lot of these kids. That meant that literally and figuratively fail them as an entity, and fail some of them because they didn't do their part. Now, I think we got to step up on that. And we got like one more round of questions and we'll be done. But I wanted to ask you guys one last question, and then we're just going to do one follow-up. And my last big question is, what do each of you see for the future in sports? What's your thoughts on pro sports? How do you think basketball and football? We're all in pro sports. We all work in pro sports. What's gonna happen with MLB football? Because here the Raiders, they are having their event in August. It is on the book. So we're the one for Vegas. So they're like, So what do you guys think is going to be the future of pro sports, and how is that going to impact the college kids expecting to go pro? What's your guys' thought on that?
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
I'm sorry. You can go ahead, Coach.
No, you got it.
You go first.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
You go. You guys are hilarious.
I'm gonna follow up with you because you seem like you got it.
It's just a guess, guys. You guys, we're not gonna hold you to it. We're not gonna put you on TMZ and say, or Angela said that the WNBA. No, it's
right,
just
but it's a
thoughts. What's your thought? What's your wish?
It's such a hard question.
My thought is this: eventually, professional sports will get back up and running with a lot of precautions, because we also have to realize, while athletics is fun, it's also a business, and
Correct.
So businessmen are going to conduct business. And so, with that being said, I believe that they'll be back up and running again with a lot of different precautions, because, of course, one of their priorities should be that people are protected. Their players, their investments are protected. Amen. So I believe that they will. I said amen. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a preacher.
No, go ahead.
Amen.
So I believe that, those businessmen will come together to get their businesses back up and running properly and all over. And that'll just be an example, I believe, that'll go down through the college ranks and to the high school and grassroots and all of those different kinds of things. So I believe it'll get back up and running. It'll be interesting to see the different precautions and things that will be put in place, the regulations, the legislations that'll be put in place for it to run smoother. But I see it happening. I see it happening. I definitely do.
Aisha?
Well, I see a lot of teams, they are starting to like pick back up. I think based on like what the professional teams do, like she said, the rest, like everybody else to kind of follow. I just think like the fans will be like a little bit socially awkward for a minute, but then it'll like get better. Cause like even here in Jersey, I'm just gonna plug y'all into this new league that they started here. It's called the Trenches Basketball League. So it's like a 1-on-1 league where they're playing like 1-on-1 games. And at first the crowds were like wearing masks and stuff, and they're playing at this one park, and everybody was like kind of wearing masks, like subtly coming in, and now they're getting crowds of like 300 people coming out to watch one-on-one games, and they're like it's crazy. It's like a crazy league, but it's like cool at the same time to see like them like build on it, because at first like everybody's like, like can I go? They're watching it on Instagram, and then now they're just kind of like, I have to be there. Who's playing this week? So it'll be like kind of awkward at first. I think it's going to be a lot of like new protocol for COVID-19 where they'll have to clean things like a little more often. Because just be honest, like how many times do they clean the benches like after games?
Right. I mean,
so, like stuff like that, I think will be like more. I guess they'll focus more in on that. And what else do I have? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I don't think the sport part of it is going to be the same. You just have to be like socially, the mental aspect and getting everybody socially comfortable again. I think that's going to be the difference.
Rhonda, what do you think?
My brand depends on it. I need football back. I miss my football. It's like I don't know. Like when I think about it as a nurse, I get anxious. So I just stop thinking about it as a nurse, and I just think about it as a fan and as a media person. I just want my football back. If we have to sit every other seat or sit, like every other room,
seat,
whatever we have to do, half the stadium, let's do it. Right, like don't do this to me. This is my 50th year. I plan on going to 5 Ohio State football games, and now all of a sudden I can't go. Like there's only gonna be like 50,000 fans in the stands. Like I need to be one of them. Like if we need a rap, I don't know. So
that's gonna be fun.
I guess that because. Right, because I see how it works. I see how in a big stadium that's open, how you could separate people enough and people could kind of be comfortable.
Yeah, the problem
that might work.
The problem,
baseball, if they say, every other row and every other seat. Right. So I just feel like
the problem with that, Rhonda, she's got a delay, so I'm scared to jump in. The problem is the income is based on every seat that they currently have.
Yeah.
So now you're saying you're going to have a half or what, 70% or 60% of that. So either the tickets are going to go up or the concessions are going to go up.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out 3 names, and I'm going to throw out 3 names, and you guys, as we wrap up, we got 5 minutes left. I want to throw out 3 names. I want you guys, or 3 topics. I'm going to tell me what you think. A, Lamar Jackson, football player, NFL player, says he's not going to play another game until Colin Kaepernick gets a contract. Bubba Wallace, thoughts? I'm interviewing Willie T. Ribs tomorrow. So what do y'all think about Bubba Wallace? Now that things have kind of calmed down a little bit. And what do you think about LeBron James is getting ready to do $100 million media empire, and he's going to also be, doing some inclusion, and he's also putting money into voting rights. So what do you guys think about those 3 topics? Just 1 or 2 thoughts before we head out.
Well, let me just say that I love LeBron James and everything that LeBron does. I really do. LeBron James has expanded his brand far beyond the basketball lines, which is so awesome. And when we talk about leadership, I believe that LeBron James stepped into that leadership role without even really knowing what he was doing. And to see everything that he has done, I believe that it's going to be great for generations to come. So I really enjoy what LeBron James is doing.
Okay. All right, Aisha, anything?
Yeah, I will say 2 things. Lamar Jackson, great job. I'm with you. Yeah, don't go back to work. Everybody don't need to go back to work. You got to stand for something.
You want Colin to get it? I want Colin to get a job too.
Yeah.
After all this, I think Colin should get a job. I'm sorry. I think at the very least, even if it's a head office job, but I mean, he wants to be able to
I feel like they're stifling the NFL by not having him him there because he was such a big part of it. And just to like blackball him like that, like more people need to stand up for him, like how they did Carmelo Anthony, and now he's back in the league and he's like recovering from that. I feel like he'll get his chance to do that again. Like I believe that, and I believe if more people help him out, especially now, like this would be the perfect time to do it.
Done in
I
3
mean,
years.
he was doing it before Black Lives Matter. So like I think that they need to support him. It should be a part of Black Lives Matter because he was the catalyst for the movement. Like he started it. So even with all the injustice and everything going on, I think that I stand with Lamar Jackson. I stand with Kaepernick, and I think that I think that they need to bring him back to the NFL because he's a very important figure. And LeBron James has changed the culture of basketball. People are feeling like they could be better entrepreneurs, not just in the sport. And it's not just to shut up and dribble. And I think that that's what really like pushed them to do more stuff too, because they were putting him in a box and stepped outside that box. Like,
and I also think that with LeBron, I think LeBron took what Magic Johnson did and put it on steroids.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Magic was the first person to really like have that business entrepreneurial and basketball mind. I think he was one of the first ones. I'm not going. Somebody's gonna probably text me right now saying, "Oh no,
okay.
I didn't want us to close without at least having something on that." Rhonda, what's your thoughts? Rhonda,
I think it froze. There she is.
did we lose you, Rhonda? Rhonda, we can't hear you.
She's coming back in. It's like slow.
The fact checkers. Lamar, I think more players should get behind Lamar on NASCAR, and I am so proud of him and the stand that he has taken, because in the sport that he's in, his stand almost it is going to be something that my children are going to be telling their children about forever.
We're talking about NASCAR now,
as
right?
As far as with about NASCAR, Bubba Wallace is just
right.
You really can't say enough about him. He took his opportunity and he took his stand and he's sticking to it, and I support him all the way. And ditto on everything about LeBron. Of course, he's from the great state of Ohio. You can't expect anything less from great Ohio people. OHIO. But yes, you will be talking about these athletes. Our grandchildren will be talking about them forever. Absolutely. They will be the Muhammad Ali's, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars for our grandchildren. And you couldn't have picked 3 people to end the show with as far as a staple in sports today.
And I want to say one last thing before we wrap up. And if you guys have anything else to say about what you're doing, where they can find you, this will be the time. But you know what? I think this is a great learning. This whole everything from COVID to George Floyd to everything we're talking about, LeBron, everything these athletes are stepping up and doing. Our kids got an amazing history lesson in about 90 days.
Yeah,
most of the time it would take them a lifetime to learn. Do you guys agree?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
100%.
yes.
Okay, guys. Well, I want to see you guys later. Thank everybody. All of these ladies, I'm going to put their handles, put everybody's handle already on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And thank you guys for spending your Sunday with me.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to do part 2 next week. Let me know if you guys are interested in coming back. And
Casey, send me your email because I'm going to give you guys the appreciation shirt.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you
whatever
color lipstick or lip gloss you want. I'm going to give it to you. So I don't know what color you wear. I'm natural, but I have other colors. So I'll send you the website. You pick the color that you want, and I'm going to send it in the mail.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
so
did you have anything before we go?
No, I don't have anything. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, and I would love to continue this conversation.
Thank you. Thank all of you. Bye-bye. And
all right.
and make sure you guys share. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yep.